Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to give you a quick sort of apology because the video footage for the video you're about to watch unfortunately went missing. For some reason it didn't register, and so you're kind of just left with the audio. I do apologise for that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? George here once again with the Vitality Guru, helping and inspiring you to live a happier, healthier and more rewarding life. So in this video, I just want to be giving a little shout out to all the people that are stuck in quarantine, stuck in lockdown, stuck on their own, who, prior to all that was going on, were facing all forms of depression, anxiety and similar mental health conditions. Because right now it's going to be a really difficult time for them, more so than it is for everyone else, and it's a difficult time for everyone, to say the least. And so I just want to kind of go into that a little bit, because a lot of people are going to be forced to sort of face a few things that they're not really didn't think they were prepared to face. And what I mean by that is a lot of us, most of us actually, what we do is we kind of run from our problems. And that's probably not revolutionary to hear. That's probably very well known. But whether we realise it or not, a lot of us run from our problems. We use alcohol and partying to escape. We use work to get away from our life. We use video games. We use bad behaviours. We use drugs. We use all these different things just to escape from reality and escape dealing with our own problems. And right now, with what's going on with the lockdown, with most of us forced in quarantine, in isolation, in lockdown, whatever it is for you, a lot of us are going to find that things that we've been running from, that we may not have even realised we've been running from, are going to have to be faced. That we can't run from them now, that we can't get away from our life, that we can't distract ourselves long enough and hard enough to not face these issues. And this could be anything from lurking depression that we've kind of suppressed and pushed under the rug, anxious thinking that we've kind of suppressed and not really noticed was anxiety. It could be past insecurities, past self-doubt, self-blame, experiences that we didn't sort of really understand before, that we kind of tried to ignore. All these things are going to be coming to our awareness, because for the first time ever we can't distract ourselves from them. We can't run from them. And so I just want to kind of give a bit of a shout out to all the people right now that are currently facing their demons, because there is a lot of you. And but a few friends especially reach out to me this week, and I've been wanting to do this video for a couple of days now, and I kind of just see that as a sign that this video should be up. So one thing that I really kind of want to bring across is that there are ways of dealing with things, and for anyone who's been to a therapist, they're probably going to know this is a very simple technique. But when things come up, when emotions come up, when self-doubts come up, when past insecurities come up, when memories, trauma, all these things from our past come up that we thought were done, that we thought were forgotten, that we thought were dealt with, and it turns out they're not, then there is kind of really only one thing you can do. And this is where I suppose this lockdown is a blessing in disguise for those that are now going to be facing those things, because all you really can do is actually sit with them. And what I mean by that is, rather than drinking away your problems, or smoking away your problems, or partying away your problems, or working away your problems and trying to distract yourself 24/7, now you have to sit with it. Now you have to realise that there is this lurking feeling of insecurity, or there's this lurking feeling that you're not good enough, or that this fear about the world, or this fear about someone, or this fear about failure or not being enough, or whatever it is that comes up. You've just got to sit with it, let it out, get your emotions out. Don't bottle them up anymore. Don't suppress them. Don't repress them. Don't run from them. You really do just have to sit with them and get them out. If you start feeling things come up, like If you start feeling things come up, self-doubts, insecurity, past whatever it is, traumas, really sit with them and bring the emotions up, bring up the fear, bring up the pain, bring up the anger, bring up the stress, bring up the sadness, bring it all up to the surface. And it may sound really counterintuitive because all this time you've been running from it, but as long as you run from it, it's always going to chase after you. And really, once you really do learn to sit with something and you really can get to the emotion of it and you can feel it and you can really just kind of experience it, as weird and as paradoxical as that may seem. But when you realise you're not actually reliving the experience, you're just releasing the experience that's been built up inside of you. And I know this is going to sound very counterintuitive, but I'm not saying this lightly. I'm not saying this as just a simple cry and you'll be better. I'm saying that this works with a lot of deeper issues as well. Now, don't get wrong, we all know that if we're not feeling great, the best thing we can do is just to cry it out if we need to, talk about it and all these things. But when it comes to deeper issues, when it comes to the things we've been running from for years that we can't talk about, or that we're scared to talk about, or that we don't even want to accept is a part of who we are or who we were or our past, the only real thing we can do is really just dig down to the core of it, bring it all up, bring up the stress, bring up the pain, bring up the anger, bring up all the repressed emotions and rip it out of us, basically. Because once it's gone, once it's done, once it's felt, once it's experienced, we automatically let it go. And it doesn't matter how long we've been running from something, it never gets any harder. It's just that we kind of build up this image in our mind that whatever we've repressed, whether we realise it or not, is something that we're not able to deal with, that we're not able to handle. But the truth is, we are. If it comes up and you haven't got an opportunity to run from it, you can deal with it. It may not feel like it. You may not feel like you're doing well. You may feel like you're absolutely losing your mind at some points. I know I've done many a times. But the truth is, if you sit with it and you can rip it out of you and you can feel to the core of it, you can release it, you can let it go, you can understand it. Now, you can't undo what's happened, you can't remove something from your story, but you can realise it isn't this baggage that you have to drag around with you forever. It can be something that can almost push you to be who you are today. And that's basically what I've kind of done with a lot of the things I've faced. And that's why I'm very open about what I talk about in my channel. I talk about my past, I talk about my experiences, and I talk about how I got here today. Because, to be honest, without it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. And sometimes the worst things that could have ever happened to us, or the worst things that ever did happen to us, become the most amazing thing in the long run. Maybe. I'm not saying it's true, but maybe. You never know. But with all that being said, just to summarise this video, if you are going through anything, if you are struggling, if you are facing things that you thought you never had to face, you can do it. You are strong enough. You've got this. And you wouldn't be dealing with this right now if you didn't. Now, it's not easy. If it was easy, you wouldn't have repressed it and you wouldn't have run from it. But it is possible. And the worst thing that can happen is it feels rough as hell on your emotions. But there's no long-term damage to this. If you can bring something up and get it out of you and to understand it, there is no negative, there is no side effect to this. You can well and truly heal through trauma. And I know this because I've done it, I've lived it. I've shared this with family, with friends, and had them benefit too. I've shared this with clients. I've done sessions of this, and it does work. And I'm not the only person to do this. I know I'm not. If you go on YouTube and type in healing repressed trauma, meditation, and things like that, then you'll find a whole bunch of results. I'm not the only one. But really the take home is that I know times are difficult right now. I know times are challenging. I know the world's in a mess and no one really has a fucking clue what's going on. Now, If you feel like you need a helping hand, if you feel like you need support, if you feel lost, if you feel like you're struggling, then feel free to reach out to me. You can find a link to my website, Facebook, Instagram and all that in the description. You can send me a direct message, you can send me an email. However it is, if you want to get in contact, then get in contact. And if you feel like you might need extra support, I'll be leaving a list of helpful services, websites and numbers in the top of the description box below. So with all that being said, stay safe, take care, and have a wonderful day. Peace.